You're listening to Morning Dove ASMR. Hello everyone, welcome to my first ASMR video. This is Morning Dove ASMR. And today I thought that, if you can see over here, I thought that we could read the entirety of Hozier's Unearth album. Unearth album, Hozier. I am a big fan of Hozier, and I love his work. I love this album. So I thought that we could enjoy some of its poetry and some of its beautiful lyrics together. Now, before we get started, I have to say that I do live on quite a populated road, so there may be some bleeding of sounds. It's a little bit of cars passing by or people. So if it's too loud or anything, just let me know in the comments. That would be great. Otherwise, I'll try to cut out any loud sounds or make sure that nothing's too distracting. It's raining a little bit right now, so if you can hear that, I think that would be great, because I love raining in ASMR videos. I'm a big fan. But if you don't like that, you can let me know if you don't like the background noise or anything. So yeah, welcome. I hope you will enjoy this. And let's start with the Selby Part 1. So the Selby Part 1 is the first track of the album, Unearth. The producers are Hozier, Becken, PG, and Jeff Gittelman, aka Giddy. Okay, well, let's get started. At last, when all of the world is asleep, you take in the blackness of air, the likes of a darkness so deep that God, at the start, couldn't bear, and sit unseen with only the inner upheld. Your reflection can't offer a word to the bliss of not knowing yourself, with all mirroring gone from the world. But still, the mind, rejecting this empty space, fills it with something or someone. No closer could I be to God, or why he would do what he's done. Now, I'm sure y'all would love to hear me go ahead and try to pronounce this, but unfortunately, this will be it for this one. I'm not going to try to speak a language I do not speak. I should have thought about that before doing this, but let's move on to the Selby Part 2. Okay, the Selby Part 2, it was produced by Marius Feder, Becken again, PG, Jeff Gittelman, aka Giddy, and Chakra. Okay, so this is the Selby Part 2, Track 2 on Unearth. What you're given, what you live in, darling, it finds a way to live in you. And your heart, love, has such kindness, I feel it in the corners of the room. If I was any closer after the gloom, I could only lose me. I wanna lose me. If I fade away, let me fade away. I wanna fade away with you. If I was any closer, I could only lose me. I could be lost. If I fade away, let me fade away. no more than I was or than I want to be, when you fall on me like night every time. And I want to be so far from sight and mind, I want to kill the lights. I want to run against the world that's turning. I want to move so fast that I'd outpace the dawn. I want to be gone. I want to run so far I'd beat the morning. Before the dawn has come, I'd pluck the sun, if you want it done. Let all time slow, let all light go. I don't need to know where we begin and end. I'd still know you, not being shown you. I only need the working of my hands. If I was any closer, do you understand? I could only lose me. I want to lose me. If I fade away, let me fade away. I want to fade away with you. If I was any closer, I could only lose me. I could be lost. If I fade away, let me fade away. No more than I was or than I want to be. When you fall on me like night, I want to kill the lights. I want to run against the world that's turning. I'd move so fast, I'd outpace the dawn. I want to be gone. I want to run so far, I'd beat the morning. Before the dawn has come, I'd pluck the sun, if you want it done. If I was any closer, I could only lose me. If I fade away, let me fade away. If I was any closer, I could only lose me. If I fade away, let me fade away. I want to run against the world that's turning. I'd move so fast, I'd outpace the dawn. I want to be gone. I want to run so far, I'd beat the morning. Before the dawn has come, I'd block the sun, if you want it done. So that was it for the Selby part 2. Now, let's go to one of my favorites, First Time, which is track 3 on Unreal Unearth. This is produced by Jeff Giddy Gittleman and Hozier. Just 2 producers this time. Remember once I told you about how before I heard it from your mouth, my name would always hit my ears as such an awful sound. And the soul, if that's what you'd call it, uneasy ally of the body, it felt nameless as a river, undiscovered underground. And the first time that you kissed me, I drank dry the river Lethe. The Lethe would have been softer on my stomach all the same. But you spoke some quick new music that went so far to soothe this soul, as it was and ever shall be, on earth without a name. Some part of me must have died the first time you called me baby. Some part of me came alive the first time that you called me baby. These days I think I owe my life to flowers that were left here by my mother. Ain't that like them, gifting life to you again? This life lived mostly underground, unknowing either sight nor sound, till reaching up for sunlight just to be ripped out by the stem. Sensing only now it's dying, drying out, then drowning blindly, blooming forth its every color in the moments it has left, to share the space with simple living things, infinitely suffering but fighting off like all creation the absence of itself. Anyway, some part of me must have died each time that you called me baby, but some part of me stayed alive each time that you called. Each time that you called. Come here. Whatever keeps you around, it keeps you around. Come here. Whatever keeps you around, it keeps you around. The last time it was heard out loud, the perfect genius of our hands and mouths were shocked to resignation as the arguing declined. When I was young, I used to guess, are there limits to any emptiness? When was the last time? Come here to me. When was the last time? Some part of me must have died the final time you called me baby. But some part of me came alive the final time you called me baby. I just think this song is so beautiful. So, so beautiful. Let me close this tab. Alright, let's move on to track 4, which is Francesca, which is also another one of my favorites. Another one with a small number of producers. We only have Hozier and Jennifer DeSilveo, or Decolveo, something like that. I'm sorry if I'm butchering this. I'm doing my best. I'm not that great. So let's start with Francesca, track 4 on Unearth. Do you think I'd give up? That this might have shook the love from me? Or that I was on the brink? How could you think, darling, I'd scare so easily? Now that it's done, there's not one thing that I would change. My life was a storm since I was born. How could I fear any hurricane? If someone asked me at the end, I'd tell him, put me back in it. Darling, I would do it again. If I could hold you for a minute, darling, I'd go through it again. I would still be surprised I could find you, darling, in any life. If I could hold you for a minute, darling, I would do it again. For all that was said of where we'd end up at the end of it, when the heart would cease, ours never knew peace. What good would it be on the far side of things? It was too soon, when that part of you was ripped away, a grip taking hold like a cancer that grows, each piece of your body that it takes. Though I know my heart would break, I tell him, put me back in it. Darling, I would do it again. If I could hold you for a minute, I'd go through it again. I would still be surprised I could find you, darling, in any life. If I could hold you for a minute, darling, I would do it again. I would not change it each time. Heaven is not fit to house a love like you and I. I would not change it each time. Heaven is not fit to house a love like you and I. So beautiful. I swear, Hozier is such an amazing lyricist. It's kind of crazy. Once again, track 5, I Carry In. Track 5 on Unearth. Once again, only 2 producers, Jennifer DeColveo, so sorry, and Hozier, the same ones as Francesca. Alright. If the wind turns, if I hit a squall, allow the ground to find its brutal way to me. I feel lighter than I have in so much time. I've crossed the borderline of weightless. One deep breath out from the sky. I've reached a rarer height now than I can confirm. All our weight is just a burden offered to us by the world. And though I burn, How could I fall when I am lifted by every word you say to me? If anything could fall at all, it's the world that falls away from me. You have me floating like a feather on the sea, while you're as heavy as the world that you hold your hands beneath. Once I wondered what was holding up the ground, but I can see that all along, love, it was you all the way down. Leave it now, I am skybound. If you need to, darling, lean your weight to me. We'll float away, but if we fall, I could only pray, don't fall away from me. I do not have wings, love, I never will, soaring over a world you are carrying. If these heights should bring my fall, let me be your own, I carry on. If the wind turns, if I hit a squall, allow the ground to find its brutal way to me. If I should fall on that day, I only pray, don't fall away from me. Really tragic, this one. It hits you in the feelings. Now let's go to Eat Your Young, track 6 of Unearth. Look at this picture. It's so beautiful too. Okay, so we have a lot of producers on this one. 5 producers. So we have Becken, Hozier, Sergio German. I'm trying my best, guys. PG and Chakra. Okay. This one is quite dark, so hopefully this is not too much to read out loud normally. Let's start. I'm starving, darling. Let me put my lips to something. Let me wrap my teeth around the world. Start carving, darling. I want to smell the dinner cooking. I want to feel the edges start to burn. Honey, I want to race you to the table. If you hesitate, the getting is gone. I won't lie, if there's something to be gained, there's money to be made, whatever's still to come. Get some. Pull up the ladder when the flood comes. Throw enough rope until the legs have swung. 7 new ways that you can eat your young. Come and get some. Skinning the children for a war drum. Putting food on the table. Selling bombs and guns. It's quicker and easier to eat your young. You can't buy this fineness. Let me see the heat get to you. Let me watch the dressing start to peel. To kindness, highness, crumbs enough for everyone. Old and young are welcome to the meal. Honey, I'm making sure the table's made. We can celebrate the good that we've done. I won't lie, if there's something still to take, there is ground to break, whatever is still to come. Get some. Pull up the ladder when the flood comes. Throw enough rope until the legs have swung. 7 new ways that you can eat your young. Come and get some. Skinning the children for a wardrobe. Putting food on the table. Selling bombs and guns. It's quicker and easier to eat your young. Instrumental outro. It's Yeah, still as dark as I remember it. Damage Gets Done. Feat Brandy Carlisle. This one I like quite a bit too. It sounds freeing, if you get what I mean. So Damage Gets Done, track 7 on Unearth, featuring Brandy Carlisle. There are a lot of producers on this one too. So we have Becken again, Peachy, Sergio Getterman, sorry, Marius Fetter, Saria May, and Chakra. Without shame, 2 outfits then to my name. You'd end up in one when you'd stay. We had nowhere to go, and every desire for going there. I heard once, it's the comfort that makes us feel numb. We'd go out with no way to get home, and we'd sleep on somebody's floor and wake up feeling like a millionaire. Wish I'd known it was just our turn. We just got by, being blamed for a world we had no power in. But we tried. You and I had nothing to show. We didn't know. But the best of the world in the palm of our hands. Anything, darling. And darling, I haven't felt it since then. I don't know how the feeling ended, but I know being reckless and young is not how the damage gets done. One time we would want for nothing. One time we had it all, love. We knew what our love was worth when we had nothing. Now we're always missing something. I miss when we did not need much. Oh, if the car ran, the car was enough. If the sun shone on us, it's a plus. And the tank was always filled up, only enough for our getting there. That first car was like wings on an angel. You flew away before the whole wild world got too thin from me then. I swear goodwill kept up the engine. You were steering my heart like a wheel in your hands. Turn back, darling. And darling, I haven't felt it since then. I don't know how the feeling ended, but I know being reckless and young is not how the damage gets done. Why did we never run before our chance was gone? Why did we never run before our chance was gone? All I needed was someone when the whole wild world felt young. All I needed was someone when the whole wild world felt young. Beautiful. Really, really, really beautiful. By the way, yes, I do speak French, if you can see that right there. Okay. Let's go to Who We Are, track 8. Track 8 on Unearth, Who We Are. We have 4 producers on this one. Becken, Pete G, Sergio Kerman, Chakra. You only feel it when it's lost. Getting through still has a cost. Quietly, it slips through your fingers, love, falling from you drop by drop. What I had left here, I just held it tight, so someone with your eyes might come in time to hold me like water, or Christ hold me like a knife. We're born at night. So much of our lives is just carving through the dark to get so far. And the hardest part is who we are. It's who we are. You and I burned out our steam, chasing someone else's dream. How can something be so much heavier, but so much less than what it seems? Darling, we sacrificed, we gave our time to something undefined. This phantom life sharpens like an image, but it sharpens like a knife. We're born at night. So much of our lives is just carving through the dark to get so far. And the hardest part is who we are. It's who we are. You only feel it when it's lost. Getting through still has its cost. Quietly, it slips through your fingers. Love, falling from you, drop by drop, drop by drop, drop by drop, drop by drop. Okay. Son of Nyx. I don't think this one has much lyrics. So we're still gonna look at it. So this is track 9 on Unreal Unearth. And it was produced by Pete G. This one is a beautiful song. Unfortunately, I cannot read it to you as it is an instrumental. But if you haven't listened to it, I would highly recommend to listen to it. Okay. All Things End. Track 10 on Unreal Unearth. 2 producers, Becken and Marius Feder. Let's get started. A 2-ton weight around my chest feels like it just dropped a 20-story height. If there was anyone to ever get through this life with their heart still intact, they didn't do it right. The last time I felt your weight on my chest, you said, "We didn't get it right." The last time I felt your weight on my chest, you said, "We didn't get it right, but love, we did our best, and we will again." Moving on in time and taking more from everything that ends. and all things end. And all things end. All that we intend is scrawled in the sand and slips right through our hands. And just knowing that everything will end should not change our plans when we begin again. We begin again. I have never known a silence like the one fallen here. Never watched my future darken in a single tear. I know we want this to go easy by being somebody's fault, but we've gone long enough to know this isn't what we want, and that isn't always bad. When people say that something is forever, either way, it ends. And all things end. All that we intend is scrawled in the sand, or slips right through our hands. And just knowing that everything will end should not change our plans. When we begin again, we begin again. We begin again, darling. All things end. All that we intend is built on sand, slips right through our hands, and just knowing that everything will end won't change our plans when we begin again. And all things end, knowing we can always start again. All that we intend, knowing we have another day, is scrawled in the sand, knowing we can always start again, or slips right through our hands, knowing we have another day, and just knowing we can always start again, that everything will end should not change our plans when we begin again. I don't know if any one of you is going through a breakup right now or something of the sort, but this song is really a nostalgic comfort, something that maybe we don't want you to hear, but that is true. I really like this song too. I think the message is beautiful. Let's go to song 11. To someone from a warm climate. I can't read that, sorry. I don't know if this was such a great idea of album, knowing that there is so much Gaelic in there. But you know, we live and we learn. Track 11 on Unearth. Producers Hozier and Jeff Gittleman. This song is very cute, and as someone who lives in a cold climate, it's close to home. A joy hard learned in winter was the warming of the bed. You'd shake for minutes there and move your legs, wrap the blankets over you and keep your head within. Let your breath heat the air until you'd feel it getting thin. The feel of coldness only water brings. There are some things that no one teaches you love, that come natural as a dream you didn't know that you were in. And darling, all my dreaming is only put to shame. And darling, all my dreaming has only been given a name. But it came easy, darling, as natural as another leg around you in the bed frame. In summer's heat, I learned to dread the coming of the night, the awful things we do to make the head go quiet. You'd press your body to the concrete when you were small. The rains of winter seemed to never leave the walls. The feel of coolness only water brings. There are some things that no one teaches you, love, that God in his awful wisdom first programs in. But darling, all my dreaming is only been put to shame. And darling, all my dreaming has only been given a name. But it happened easy, darling, as natural as another leg around you in the bed. And I wish I could say that the river of my arms have found the ocean. I wish I could say the cold lake water of my heart, Christ, it's boiling over. But it happened easy, darling, natural as another leg around you in the bed frame. So beautiful. So, so beautiful. Butchered tongue. This one is very filled with Gaelic, so you'll have to excuse me for skipping some of the words, because I could try to pronounce them, but I have a feeling that it would be awful. Should we try it? Maybe I could try. Okay. So Butchered Tongue. This is track 12 on Unearth. The producers are Jennifer Desilveo and Hozier. Let's get started. As a child, it was the place names singing at me as the first thing. How the mouth must be employed in every corner of itself to say Apala Kikola or Hushpukena, like Guibara, a promise softly sung of somewhere else. I'm sorry if I got those wrong. And as a young man blessed to pass so many road signs and have my foreign ear made fresh again on each unlikely sound, but feel at home hearing a music that few still understand, a butchered tongue still singing here above the ground. The ears were chopped from young men if the pitch cap didn't kill them. They are buried without scalp in the shattered bedrock of our home. You may never know your fortune until the distance has been shown between what is lost forever and what can still be known. So far from home to have a stranger call you darling, and have your guarded heart be lifted like a child up by the hand in some town just means home to them, with no translator left to sound, a butchered tongue still singing here above the ground. This is beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, it's giving me chills. Let's go with anything but. Anything but. Track 13 on Unearth. Is 13 any of you guys' favorite number or lucky number or something like that? Even though it's often a unlucky number, I have many people who've told me that it's actually their lucky number. So I would be interested to know what you think. Okay, so the producers on this one are Becken, Pete G, Sergio German, and Chakra. Let's go. Come here to me. I wish I was a mayfly on the river Tay. I'd fit all my joys and my pleasures in one perfect day. I wish I was the sunlight just sitting on the Mississippi. I'd settle for shopping trolley in the Liffey. In a shot, I'd swap my body for a body of water. Worry the cliff side top as a wave crashing over. I'd lower the world in a flood, or better yet, I'd cause a drought. If I was a riptide, I wouldn't take you out. I don't want to be anything, but I would do everything just to run away. I don't want to be anything like this at all, but I would do everything if you'd hear me say, go look another way. Look another way. Look, I want to be loud, so loud, I'm talking seismic. I want to be soft as a single stone in a rainstick. I want to be the thunder of 100,000 hoofs moving quick. If I was a stampede, you wouldn't get a kick. I want to be the shadow when my bright futures is behind me. I want to be the last thing anybody ever sees. I hear he touches your hand, and then you fly away together. If I had his job, you would live forever. I don't want to be anything, love, but I would do everything just to run away. I don't want to be anything like this at all, but I would do everything if you hear me say, go look another way. Look another way. I don't want to be anything, but I would do everything. Go look another way. I don't want to be. Don't want to be anything. Go look another way. I don't want to be anything. Yeah. Hey, look another way. This is a cheeky little song. Quite cheeky. No, abstract. Psychopump. Track 14 on Unearth. The producers are PG, Tyler Millenbacher or Bacher, Craig Balmorris, Sergio German, and Chakra. Before I start abstract psychopump, if you haven't listened to this album yet, and animals hurting or like depictions of animal death or things like that, if that's particularly sensitive for you, I would skip this. I'm gonna put on screen the time where it ends right now, so you can skip it if you would like to skip this one. Completely understand. Take care of yourself and don't listen to things that trigger you. Okay, with that being said, I'm now gonna start. Sometimes it returns like rain that you slept through, that washed off the world, the streets looking brand new. I will not be great, but I'm grateful to get through. The feeling came late. I'm still glad I met you. The memory hurts, but does me no harm. Your hand in my pocket to keep us both warm. The poor thing in the road, its eye still glistening. The cold wet of your nose, the earth from a distance. See how it shines. See how it shines. See how it shines. See how it shines. Sometimes there's a thought, like you choose what you're doing, but then it comes to naught when I look back through it. I remember the view, street lights in the dark blue, the moment I knew I'd no choice but to love you. The speed that you moved, the screech of the cars, the creature still moving that slowed in your arms, the fear in its eyes gone out in an instant. Your tear caught the light, the earth from a distance. See how it shines. See how it shines. See how it shines. See how it shines. Darling, there's a part of me I'm afraid will always be trapped within an abstract moment of my life that weeds up through the concrete, the traffic picking up speed, all my love and terror balanced there between those eyes. See how it shines. See how it shines. Really heartbreaking song, but so beautiful. I swear Hozier knows how to write beautiful, beautiful stories. So immersive and so... it gives you chills, you know what I mean? Okay. Unknown, 9th, track 15 on Unreal Unearth. Producers are Hozier and Sean Cook. You know the distance never made a difference to me. Sorry, I like this song a lot. You know the distance. Okay. You know the distance never made a difference to me. I swam a lake of fire. I'd have walked across the floor of any sea. Ignored the vastness between all that can be seen and all that we believe. So I thought you were like an angel to me. Funny how true colors shine in darkness and in secrecy. If there were scarlet flags, they washed out in the mind of me, where a blinding light shone on you every night, and either side of my sleep, where you were held, frozen, like an angel to me. It ain't the being alone. Shalala. It ain't the empty home, baby. You know I'm good on my own. Baby, you know it's more the being unknown. So much of the living love is the being unknown. You called me angel. For the first time, my heart leapt from me. You smile now. I can see its pieces still stuck in your teeth. And what's left of it, I listen to it tick, every tedious beat, going unknown as any angel to me. Do you know I could break beneath the weight of the goodness, love, I still carry for you? That I'd walk so far just to take the injury of finally knowing you. It ain't the being alone. It ain't the empty home, baby. You know I'm good on my own. Baby, you know it's more the being unknown. And there are some people, love, who are better unknown. Heavy, this one is quite heavy. But we've come to the last song of the album, which is First Light. Just track 16 on Unearth, the last one. Produced by Becken, Hozier, Peachy, Sergio German, Tyler Mellenbacher or Batcher, Craig Balmorris, and Chakra. Let's go ahead for this last one. One bright morning changes all things. Soft and easy as your breathing, you wake. Your eyes open at first, 1,000 miles away, but turning shoot a silver bullet point blank range, and I can scarce believe what I'm believing in. Could this be how every day begins? The sky set to burst, the gold and the rust, the color erupts. You fill in my cup, the sun coming up. Like I lived my whole life before the first light. Some bright morning comes, like I lived my whole life before the first light. Some bright morning. One bright morning goes so easy. Darkness always finds you either way. It creeps into the corners as the moment fades. A voice, your body jumps to calling out your name. But after this, I'm never gonna be the same, and I am never going back again. The sky set to burst, the gold and the rust, the color erupts, you filling my cup, the sun coming up, like I lived my whole life before the first light. Some bright morning comes, like I lived my whole life before the first light. Some bright morning comes, like I lived my whole life before the first light. Some bright morning comes, like I lived my whole life before the first light. Some bright morning comes, like I lived my whole life before the first light. Some bright morning comes. We have officially reached the end of Hozier's Unearth album, which is gonna signal the end of this video. But first, I wanted to know, what do you guys think of this type of video? As this is my first video on this channel, I would love some feedbacks. If there's some other albums that you would like me to read, if there are other artists that you would like me to look into, maybe other types of videos that you would like me to make. I still have a bunch of ideas that I want to do, but I think it would be great if I knew what you guys were looking for so I could help you. Alright, so this is gonna be it. Thank you so much for watching this video and stumbling on my channel. I hope you had an amazing time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on the little bell if you want to know the next time I upload, and maybe comment if you would like to. That would be awesome. So thank you very much. I hope you sleep well, or have a good day, or have a good night, or have a good afternoon, whatever floats your boat. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you.